Hey YouTube, my name is Bigboysnacksjonnytv, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail in the video itself, this is my WWE Smackdown review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button for more rest of content because I'm on the road to 11K before the end of May. Follow all my social media down below in the description and go check my AEW Dynamite review and highlights that I also did on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I had to get the show a 5.6 out of 10. WWE Smackdown was live from Fort Worth, Texas arena. WWE Smackdown kicks off with highlights of WrestleMania. Live in the arena, Jacob Fatu music hits, live in the arena, Jacob Fatu music hits, and now he comes to the ring. Jacob Fatu says that on Monday he told Roman Reigns that he needs that title. And he says Roman looks in his eyes and told him that he's not ready. Jacob Fatu says the truth is that Roman Reigns is right because he has never been ready. He has heard that his entire life that he is not good enough. He says Roman said that he is not ready. Jacob Fatu says to step in this ring and prove it. Out comes the Usos to the ring. Jimmy Uso tells him that he knows that he wants to upgrade his family. He says the play that Roman Reigns wants is the play they run. Jimmy Uso tells him to join the family. Jey Uso tells Jacob Fatu to step up, but they will see if he swings. Jey Uso tells him to look at Roman Reigns in the eyes. Soul music hits, and now he comes. Soul with the MLT. Soul asks Jacob Fatu where the Usos were at 2 years ago. Tama Tonga asks how Jacob Fatu is going to be Roman Reigns if he can't even beat Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu super kicks Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa stops JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. Jacob Fatu says he needs to talk to Roman Reigns. Jacob Fatu says he will beat Solo Sikoa tonight. Jacob Fatu music hits, and we cut to the back. Captain Kelly is backstage with Julia and Kiana James. Julia is angry that she was not at WrestleMania 42. Kiana James says that she couldn't get Julia at WrestleMania 42, but it lit on fire under her, and she will beat Tiffany Stratton tonight. Julia says she beat Tiffany Stratton once, and she will do it again. She says she feels no pressure and looks at Kiana James, telling her she feels angry. So we go to commercial break. So we get the Women's United States Championship. Julia, accompanied by Kiana James, versus Tiffany Stratton. Now this match right here, I ain't gonna lie. This was a solid match for what it was. The bell rings, we are underway. Tiffany Stratton with a clothesline, and she goes for the cover, but Julia kicks out. Julia with a headlock takedown, followed by a swinging neckbreaker. She goes for the cover, but Tiffany Stratton kicks out. She places her in a tree of woe and lands a drop kick. Tiffany Stratton rolls to the outside, and Julia with a neckbreaker. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Tiffany Stratton with a stunner. She goes for the cover, but Julia kicks out. Tiffany Stratton climbs the tie rope, but Julia hits her with a right hand. Julia with a double underhook suplex off the second rope. She goes for the cover, but Tiffany Stratton kicks out. She grabs Tiffany Stratton, but Tiffany Stratton with a kick. Tiffany Stratton runs to the ropes, but Kiana James grabs her by the leg. She grabs Kiana James into the ring apron. Julia goes for a kick onto Tiffany Stratton, but she moves out of the way and hits Kiana James. Rolls her up, but Julia kicks out. Tiffany Stratton slams her onto the mat. Tiffany Stratton climbs the top rope and goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Julia gets her knees up. Julia gets her in in a submission, but Tiffany Stratton gets out of it. Julia with a knee onto Tiffany Stratton. Julia goes for Dercy, but Tiffany Stratton lands on her feet. Tiffany Stratton with the Alabama Slam, followed by the previous moonsault ever. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match and your new Women's United States Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Now this was a solid match for what it was. We see a clip of Danhausen knocking on the Miz house. Danhausen gets in Miz pull, and Miz tells him to get out of the pull. Danhausen gets in another pull, and Miz jumps towards him, but Danhausen moves out of the way, and the Miz falls into the pull. Danhausen is funny. That's all I gotta say from here. Alright, so yeah, Danhausen is funny. He's hilarious. So we go to commercial break. Captain Kelly is on the entrance ramp with Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton says that for the last few months, she felt like she had the runner-up story. She was the runner-up at the Royal Rumble and the runner-up at the Elimination Chamber, but tonight she is the new Women's United States Champion. She says she will show the WWE Universe why WWE runs on Tiffy time. Brie Bella music hits, and now she comes. Brie Bella, Paige music hits, and now she comes. They get in the ring with their new Women's Tag Team Champions. Brie Bella says it feels incredible to be standing in the ring as champion. She says WrestleMania was really special, and even though she couldn't compete next to her sister, she is really glad that she had a good idea of calling an old friend that she can't count on, one that she called a sister. She says she knows she speaks for everyone when she says welcome back. Paige says she is back and asks the fans if they miss her. Paige says she has lost her voice. It was a hectic week, but what a week. When Brie Bella gave her the call last week to have her back at WrestleMania 42, she thought what a wonderful way to come home. She says she is proud to be here with her, and they walk out as the Women's Tag Team Champions. She says they were in the ring with some of the best in the world, but SmackDown is her house. She says Brie Bella and herself are not going anywhere. Charlotte Flair music hits, and now she comes with Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair says she thinks she can speak for both of them when she says it is good to see them both back. Alexa Bliss says yes, even if she got pinned. Alexa Bliss says she thinks she can speak for both of them when she says she won't let one WrestleMania moment get in her way. Charlotte Flair says if Paige wants to prove that this is her house, she can think of no better way than to face them. The fans do the yes chant. Paige says she is down and asks if Brie is, and Brie says she is down. Paige asks for the referee right now. So we go to commercial break. So we get the Women's Tag Team Championship match: Paige and Brie Bella versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. In my opinion, this was a squash tag team match. Back from commercial, and the match is already on the way. Brie Bella and Alexa Bliss are in the ring. Charlotte Flair is tagged in, and they double team Brie Bella. Charlotte Flair with a fall away slam followed by a kick to the face. Charlotte Flair goes to kick Brie Bella's leg, but Brie Bella moves out of the way. Brie Bella goes to make the tag out to Charlotte Flair, drags her by the legs. Brie Bella with a kick to the side of the head. Jessie Jane pulls Paige off the ring apron and throws her into the ring steps. The referee rings the bell. So the winner of the match, no contest. I'm glad that Fatal Influence is on SmackDown, just like I said in my review last week that Fatal Influence was going to go to SmackDown, and I was right. Out comes Fallen Haley and Laney Reed of Fatal Influence, and they take down Brie Bella Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. But WWE, do not change Fatal Influence theme song. Do not change it. Because if you change Fatal Influence theme song to their new song, it's going to be god awful. But WWE, TKO, do not change Fatal Influence theme song, please. I like her theme song back in it. I like her theme song when she was in NXT. Don't change Fatal Influence theme song to nothing else, please. Don't do it. Anyway, outcomes following Henry and Lenny Reed of Fatal Influence. They take down Brie Bella, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. I already read that part, but I just want to go over again. But anyway, commercial break. A video package of Warriors Keys airs. Cody Rhodes music hits, and now he comes. Cody Rhodes to the ring. Cody Rhodes asks the fans what do they want to talk about. He says he wants to talk about how he left WrestleMania 42, and he does not mean as champion. Bloody, but he still made the decision of making a long walk up the ramp. He made that decision because he feels it is the job as WWE champion. The only superpower he might have is as he always gets back up. And in the moment you see him take that side ramp, that means this run is over. And this run actually started 4 years ago, right around the corner from here. He says ever since then, on paper and in his heart, he wanted to see a message at WrestleMania, even if he knew would not be medically clear after that. He wanted to see a message to his opportunity. He wants to send a message to his opponent, Randy Orton. He says Randy Orton is not there tonight. Randy Orton, who started him out in this sport, who taught him everything, and it was everything he taught him that be him. He says Randy Orton gave him his best shot and punt to the head, but he is still standing. He wanted to send a message to that sarcastic and condescending Sami Zayn, who backstage called him the Golden Boy. He showed up at WrestleMania 42, adored head to toe in gold. His family is in gold. Everyone in gold, and they will all be gold. Cody Rhodes says, and the most important message that he wanted to send is to those outside forces that kept interjecting into his WrestleMania plans, and that want to get involved in this nightmare family party. He says they are 0-3 since your best, count your money and mind your business. He says this is the first SmackDown after WrestleMania, and the man hiding the richest prize in the sport. He is not the hunter. It is easy to find him. If you are from NXT, Raw, or SmackDown, he is easy to find, but hard to beat. Cody Rhodes dropped the microphone and his music hits. We cut backstage, and Sosako is with the MFTs, but without Tama Tonga. Sosako says he wants Jason Mattel and Tama Tonga to get the tag team titles and bring it to the family. He tells them not to let the family down. Tonga Loa asks him about Jacob Fatu, and Sosako tells him not to worry about Jacob Fatu. He will teach him a lesson that without them, Jacob Fatu can't beat Roman Reigns. WWE Tag Team Championship match. Damian Priest and R-Truth versus JC Mateo and Tama Tonga. And this match right here, this was a okay tag team match, what it was. The bell rings were underway. R-Truth and Tama Tonga start the match. R-Truth with a shoulder tackle, but Tama Tonga with a drop kick. Tama Tonga goes for the five knuckle shuffle, but R-Truth moves out of the way. Damian Priest is tagging, and Damian Priest with right hands. Damian Priest with a shoulder tackle. In comes Jason Mateo, but here comes Jason Mateo, but Damian Priest with a spinning kick. Damian Priest with a splash in the corner onto Tama Tonga. Jason Mattel gets on the ring apron and pulls Damian Priest by the head with the referee distracted. Tama Tonga clotheslines Damian Priest on to the outside of the ring, and Tonga lower with a clothesline. Commercial break. Back from commercial break, Damian Priest with a clothesline onto Jason Mateo. R-Truth with tag in, and R-Truth with a shoulder tackle. He lit Jason Mateo and slammed him. R-Truth with the you can't see me and 5-knuckle shuffle. R-Truth goes for the AA, but Tama Tonga gets on the ring apron, and that distracts R-Truth and the referee. Tama Tonga gets in the ring, and he lands a swinging neckbreaker onto R-Truth. Jason Mateo with a German suplex onto R-Truth. He goes for the cover, but Damian Priest breaks it up. Tama Tonga throws Damian Priest to the outside of the ring. Tama Tonga with a uppercut onto R-Truth. Jason Mateo slams R-Truth in the corner, and Tama Tonga goes for a splash, but R-Truth moves out of the way. Damian Priest is tagged in. Damian Priest and R-Truth with the rise up flapjack. Damian Priest goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner and still your WWE Tag Team Champions R-Truth and Damian Priest. This tag team match was okay tag team match what it was. We see a clip of earlier in the week where Danhausen is at the Miz house. He is playing indoor golf and takes one of Miz Slammy Awards. As Danhausen is leaving, he sees Maurice. Miz throws a bowl of cocoa powder towards Danhausen, who moves and he gets the powder. He gets the cocoa powder all over Maurice. Danhausen gets on a kid's bike and bikes away. We cut to Lil Yachty backstage, and out comes Trick Williams. They shake hands, and Lil Yachty knocks on a door. Out steps Gingerbread Man, which is Sami Zayn. We already been knew. Commercial break. Trick Williams music hits, and Trick Williams is standing wearing his white coat and a white hat. He comes out with Lil Yachty and the Gingerbread Man. There's a small table with champagne on ice and balloons. Trick Williams says he thinks the people are excited to celebrate with the new United States champion. He says they were just at WrestleMania last week. 5 million fans. Lil Yachty was there. Trick Williams was there, and the Gingerbread Man was there. He tells the fans to say what he did on Sunday, and they chant "Whoop that trick." Lil Yachty says there was the Celebrity Road to WrestleMania tour, and he is still there. He says if Trick Williams is still a knotted one, Lil Yachty is the prophecy. If Trick Williams is Michael Jackson, he is Quincy Jones. If Trick Williams is Mike Tyson, he is Don King. If Trick Williams is Michael Jordan, he is Phil Jackson. Lil Yachty says there is no more United States Open Challenge. Trick Williams says if you want an invitation, you find a wedding, and if you want the United States champion, you look for the United States champion who looks like chocolate milk. Wearing the lemon pepper steppers. Trick Williams music hits and Power goes off. I am so happy that Trick Williams beat Sami Zayn at WrestleMania to become your new United States Championship. So W Trick Williams. I had to take a sip of my water. But anyway, let me continue. The Gingerbread Man grabs his candy cane stick and he hits Trick Williams from behind. Lil Yachty turns around and he hits Lil Yachty with it too. The Gingerbread Man takes the mask off and it's Sami Zayn. The fans boo and he hits Trick Williams with a Luva kick. Royce Keys is backstage with his Andre the Giant trophy. In comes Kathy Kelly. He tells her he is just getting started. In comes Soul Sikoa. He tells Royce Keys that he gave Tala Tonga the night off, but there is always room for him and the family. Do you think for 1 second that Royce Keys is going to join the MFT? No, he's not. Royce Keys is going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Worst Keys gonna be on his own. There's no need for Worst Keys to join the MFT. It is what it is. Commercial break. Danhausen. So we get the next match. Danhausen versus The Miz, accompanied by Kit Wilson. And this was a quick match. The bell rings. We are underway. Danhausen comes out in his housing mobile. He has Miz slamming the words on it. Danhausen runs towards Miz and he lands a crossbody. Danhausen climbs the second rope and lands a hurricanrana. Miz rolls to the outside of the ring. Kit Wilson gets on the ring apron and distracts Danhausen. Miz hits Danhausen from behind. Kit Wilson gets on the ring apron and they celebrate. Danhausen sit up like the Undertaker. He says, "You are cursed." Miz and Kit Wilson are posing on the ropes and power goes off. Kit Wilson falls to the outside and Miz falls into the ring. Danhausen goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Danhausen. This was a quick match, but Danhausen cursed Kit Wilson again. It says after the match, the Miz and Danhausen are in the ring. Danhausen throws something and smoke pops out, but Danhausen stays in the ring. Miz chases Danhausen and Danhausen rolls under the ring. Miz follows him. Danhausen comes out and jumps over Kit Wilson's, but Miz trips onto Kit Wilson. Danhausen gets in the house. Danhausen mobile and drives away. So we go to commercial break. A video package of Blake Monroe coming to SmackDown era. So Blake Monroe is gonna be on SmackDown along with Jesse Jane, Landry Reed, and Fallon Henley. So Blake Monroe is gonna go to SmackDown along with Ricky Saints. Rhea Ripley music hits and now she comes to the ring. Rhea Ripley tells the fans that their mommy is finally champion again. She says at WrestleMania, Jay proved to her that she can go. But now it is her time to prove that the WWE Women's Champion is a fighting champion. She says she knows that there are plenty of women in the back that wants to take their chance, and if someone wants to stop her, now is their shot. Outcomes fatal influence. Jesse Jane tells Rhea Ripley that they get it. She is a star. The fans boo loudly and she tells them to respect her. They get it. She is the star and champion. The fans continue to boo loudly and she tells them this is her time. She says Rhea Ripley had a big win at WrestleMania 42 and she congratulates her. She tries to speak but cannot speak over the fans. She tells the fans that they should give Fatal Influence credit for taking out their precious little legend tonight. Rhea Ripley says she did see what they did and she has to say taking out that many legends is quite impressive. Rhea Ripley tells her to stop while they are ahead. Fallon Henley tells her thanks but no thanks. What they did to them is nothing compared to what they will do to her. Rhea Ripley says she thought that Jesse Jane was cocky. She tells them that she has been used to the numbers game been against her, and if they open their eyes, that doesn't matter. She tells them if they want a fight, she is ready for a fight. Rhea Ripley tells Jesse Jane to take her shot. Jesse Jane tells Rhea Ripley that one thing she will learn about will learn about Fatal Influence is they are always ready to throw hands. Out comes Nick Aldis who welcomes them to SmackDown. He says he was trying to think of a suitable punishment for what they did tonight, and Rhea Ripley is standing right there in the ring. Nick Aldis says Jesse Jane will go one-on-one against Rhea Ripley right now. So we'll go to commercial break. So we get Rhea Ripley versus the debut one half of the Fatal Influence debut on SmackDown. Jesse Jane to come by Fatal Influence. And this match right here, This match was good until the ending. The match was, in my opinion, the match was good, but the ending was just terrible. The bell rings. We are underway. Rhea Ripley goes for a power slam, but Jessie Jane lands on her feet and gets Rhea Ripley in the headlock takedown. She gets to her feet, but Rhea Ripley throws her away. Rhea Ripley with a shoulder tackle. Rhea Ripley goes for a big boot, but Jessie Jane moves out of the way. Jessie Jane with right hand. She grabs Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley throws her to the ropes, and Jessie Jane with the hurricanrana. Jessie Jane goes for a splash in the corner, but Rhea Ripley grabs her. Jessie Jane gets out of it. Jessie Jane on the ring apron. Rhea Ripley throws her to the outside. Rhea Ripley goes for a baseball slide. Jessie Jane moves out of the way. Jessie Jane gets on the ring apron and goes for a kick, but Rhea Ripley trips her up. Rhea Ripley throws Jessie Jane back into the ring. Fatal Influence distracts Rhea Ripley and Jessie Jane with a kick to the face. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Rhea Ripley with a kick to the side of the head, followed by a clothesline. Rhea Ripley with a drop kick. Rhea Ripley goes for a Razor's Edge, but Jessie Jane grabs the ropes and lands on her feet. Jessie Jane with a super kick. Jessie Jane with a running knee to the face. She goes for the cover, but Rhea Ripley kicks out. Jessie Jane goes for an elbow to the face, but Rhea Ripley moves out of the way, and she hits Jessie Jane with a boot to the face. Rhea Ripley climbs the top rope, but Jessie Jane trips her up. Jessie Jane gets on the second rope, but Rhea Ripley with right hands. Rhea Ripley gets down off the top rope, and she lifts Jessie Jane onto her shoulders. Jessie Jane rolls her up, but Rhea Ripley kicks out. Rhea Ripley with a super kick. She lands the Razor's Edge and hits Jessie Jane with a drop kick. She goes for the cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Rhea Ripley with the headbutt. Rhea Ripley goes for the riptide, but Fallon Henley and Lanley Reed gets in the ring. They attack Rhea Ripley, and the referee calls for the belt. The winner by disqualification, Rhea Ripley. Fatal Influence triple team Rhea Ripley. So in my honest opinion, I think that but I could be wrong, Jessie Jane is going to be a future champion. That's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. But I know it ain't Jessie Jane's time yet. But when Jessie Jane gets time, Jessie Jane is going to be a future champion. Now that's all I gotta say. But I would love to see Jessie Jane in the women's Money in the Bank this year. All right, we cut to Jacob Fatu backstage, and comes the Usos. Jimmy Uso tells him that the MFT will get involved, but they will be watching. Jacob Fatu tells them he doesn't need their help, and he walks away. When is Jimmy Uso going to get a push? For those of you that's watching this video, when is Jimmy Uso is going to get a push? Sound off down below in the comment section. When is Jimmy Uso is going to get a push? Y'all tell me down below in the comment section. So we go to commercial break. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are in the ring, in the trainer's room. In comes Rhea Ripley, and she asks Charlotte Flair if they have a problem. Alexa Bliss says they do. It's Fatal Influence. Charlotte Flair says she will get her hands on Jessie Jane next week and walks away. Charlotte Flair tells Rhea Ripley that it's not real. Charlotte Flair is just like that. So we go to commercial break. A video of Ricky Saints coming to SmackDown air. So Ricky Saints is going to SmackDown next week. Alright, so we get Solo Sikoa accompanied by MFT versus Jacob Fatu. And this main event right here, I'm also gonna say this was a fun main event, but I'm glad Jacob Fatu won. The bell rings, we're underway. Solo Sikoa with a shoulder tackle, but Jacob Fatu stays on his feet. Jacob Fatu with a right hand, and he gets Solo Sikoa in the corner. Jacob Fatu climbed the second rope and begins to headbutt Solo Sikoa, but Solo Sikoa slams Jacob Fatu's face first onto the top turnbuckle. Solo Sikoa climbs the second turnbuckle and hits Jacob Fatu with a right hand. Solo Sikoa to the ropes, but Jacob Fatu with a shoulder tackle. Jacob Fatu to the ropes, but Jason Mateo grabs Jacob Fatu by the leg with the referee distracted. Solo Sikoa throws Jacob Fatu to the outside of the ring. Tama Tonga with the right hand onto Jacob Fatu. Jason Mateo throws Jacob Fatu back into the ring, and out comes the Usos. Jacob Fatu gets angry at them, and Solo Sikoa with their clothes on. He goes for the cover, but Jacob Fatu kicks out. Jacob Fatu kicks out. When Jacob Fatu saw the Usos, and Jacob Fatu says, "What do you do?" He says, "What are you doing?" He doesn't need any help. That's what Jacob Fatu said. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Solo Sikoa with an overhead German suplex. He grabs Jacob Fatu and hits him with their right hand, but Jacob Fatu with their right hand. Jacob Fatu with their close on, followed by a senton. Solo Sikoa in the corner, and Jacob Fatu with a splash. Jacob Fatu to the second rope, and he begins hitting Solo Sikoa with the headbutt. Jacob Fatu gets down and lands a running hip attack. Tama Tonga gets on the ring apron that distracts Jacob Fatu. He turns around. Solo Sikoa goes for a Samoan spike. Jacob Fatu ducks and lands a super kick. Jacob Fatu climbs the top rope. Tonga Logo distracts the referee, and Jason Mateo pushes Jacob Fatu down. Solo Sikoa goes for the cover, but Jacob Fatu kicks out. He grabs Jacob Fatu, but Jacob Fatu pushes him away. Jacob Fatu with a suicide dive onto the MT. Jacob Fatu in the ring, and Solo Sikoa with a super kick, followed by a spinning solo. He climbs the top rope, and Solo lands a splash. He goes for the cover, but Jacob Fatu kicks out. Solo Sikoa goes for the solo spike, but Jacob Fatu ducks and hits him with a super kick. Jacob Fatu with a pop-up small drop, followed by the mighty moonsault. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jacob Fatu. And this was a fun main event match. What it was. The MLT gets in the ring. After the match, they began to beat up Jacob Fatu. The Usos walk down to the ring. Tama Tonga has a steel chair, but Jacob Fatu kicks him. Jacob Fatu with the right hand onto Jason Mateo. Tonga Loa gets in the ring, but Jacob Fatu with the right hand. Jacob Fatu hits Tama Tonga and Jason Mateo with their steel chair. The Usos stand on the ring apron and watching Jacob Fatu. He placed a steel chair around Jason Mateo's neck and around Tama Tonga's neck. Jacob Fatu with a running hip attack on both Jason Mateo and Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu with a suicide dive onto Tonga Loa. He places Tonga Loa on the announcer table. Jacob Fatu climbs the barricade and lands a splash through the announcer table. Jacob Fatu gets back in the ring and looks at the Usos. Look at the Usos, and SmackDown goes off the air. Alright, so yeah, now let me give my honest opinion. What I think about WWE Smackdown. Yeah, let me give my honest opinion what I think about WWE Smackdown. WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I gotta give that show a 5.6 out of 10. So anyway, if you guys enjoy, yeah, and that's just my opinion. Yeah. So WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I said it on my community post. And that's all I gotta say. So WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I gotta give Smackdown a 6.5 out of 10. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my WWE Smackdown review and highlights, thank you guys so much for taking your time out of your night for watching my WWE Smackdown review and highlights. It's a decent show. I had to give it a 6.5 out of 10. And I heard some superstars got released by WWE. And that sucks, man. Y'all releasing the good people from WWE that needs that. I don't want to see no superstars lose their job, and that's all I gotta say from here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for taking your time out of your night for watching my WWE Smackdown review on highs. And WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I had to give it a 6.5 out of 10. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content, because I'm on the road to 11K before the end of May. Follow all my socials down below in the description. And if I don't have nothing to do, well, I'm going to stream live on Twitch tomorrow for some retro gaming. And that's all I got to say from here. I want you guys to be there or be square. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support I'll be getting. And yeah, man. And that's all I gotta say. But I'm gonna premiere my WWE. I'm gonna have my world premiere for my WWE Smackdown review on Hot at around 5 o'clock a.m. on YouTube. So I hope you guys will be in my chat. I'm gonna be interactive with the chat. So I hope you guys will come show me some love and support. But I want you guys to have a great weekend. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.